And we are joined by Dr. Tasha L. Dickerson. We're going to talk about something that I think we give a lot of lip service to, but when it comes to implementing it and acting upon it, perhaps we're not so clear. We're talking about self care. And first of all, welcome to the show, Dr. Dickerson.
Thank you so much for having me.
What is self care, or what are some of the definitions of self care?
So, self care is actually taking care of yourself, right? And oftentimes, we as women don't know what that means. And I tell my clients self care is doing what makes you happy, it's doing whatever releases the tension, stress from your day to make it lighter. That's what self care is.
Well, that is, really a really good definition and an easy one. But again, we have a lot of the way we've been trained, the way we've been taught, the way we say selfish. We never hear the word self and don't know what to do with it. So, for especially women, powerhouse women who watch this show, what are some ways in which we can do that? And we're going to talk about the retreat that you have coming up in a few months. But what are some ways, particularly for those who are going to push back and say, "You don't know my schedule. You
Yes,
don't know all the things that are on my
yes,
plate, all of my responsibilities."
yes.
What are some ways in which we can implement self care?
So I am that woman, right? I never thought I had time in my day to go to the spa and just have one of those days where I have people pampering me, right? Because of my schedule. I'm married, I'm a mother, I'm a CEO, I wear many hats. But there are little things that we can incorporate within our day that is self-care. So for instance, I work every day. But if I feel like I'm overwhelmed, if I feel like I'm stressed, I journal. I mean, I can tell everyone what my thoughts are, but just writing them down allows me to release that off of me. And so if I have time to, between meetings, I may take a 10-minute walk outside just around the building to get some fresh air and to release some stress. So there are things that we can do that are minor, that does not take away from your schedule, but it can help you to release some stress because we don't want that to build up.
And again, for those people, there are a few weird people like me who I really don't like manicures and pedicures and people touching my feet or my hands, but that's for a different show.
Exactly.
But journaling really speaks to me because, and maybe you
Yes,
can speak about this. I find it's one of the few places where I can be totally honest
that's
and
right.
open to myself about myself.
Mhm. That is so true. And I've been journaling since I was in high school. That's a way of me to release my thoughts. I started writing poems, and it's a way for me to go back and look at things that I've written and see how many things have already manifested. And so that's what I love about journaling because when I journal, I'm in this particular space, I'm in this mindset. And then 2, 3 years later, I can go back and say, wow, I was feeling like that. What did I do to get over that? How did I overcome that? And when I go through my journal, I see the different steps that I have taken. And so it's very, very great. I suggest that to my teenager, to my clients. If you can't do anything else, make sure you have pen and paper somewhere around that you can start journaling.
Absolutely. What is the cost of not focusing on oneself and not doing self care?
A big hospital bill.
Ooh.
That's the cost. Because if you don't take time to to take care of yourself, I've realized that you'll find yourself in the hospital, and that is where I landed. I kept going and going, and my body was talking to me. My body was telling me I was tired, I was exhausted, but I kept going until I didn't have any other choice but to take off because I was forced. So it's like if you don't schedule that time to take off for yourself, then your body will force you to do it. And so I don't want anyone to have to go through that.
Well, thank you for sharing that story because that is the case. And when we feel that the world cannot continue rotating on its axis without us, when we have to stop because we're forced to
Yes,
stop, guess what? The world finds a way.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And
You
and
mentioned your daughter. Please
no, go ahead.
continue.
No, I was just going to say I found that out the hard way, and it was
Yeah.
it was not good at all. Mm-mm.
You mentioned your daughter, and one of the articles on you is basically you quit as a
Oh,
CEO, this
yes.
really big, high power, six-figure job.
Mhm.
And you decided to work with your daughter, who could not be with us today for the show because
Yes.
she's in school. Okay, that's
Yes.
important.
Yes.
Yeah. What led to that? That's a dramatic decision.
Well, this is the thing. My daughter, I've been teaching her community service and service since she was 5. So she's always been with me and right there with everything that I've been doing. And it came to the point when she was about 10, 11 that I would travel a lot in this position. It was a high role. And I was traveling a lot. I had to make arrangements with my parents to come up, sit with her, do this and do that, and it was stressful, and it was so stressful to the point I started breaking out in hives. And I told my husband I can't do this anymore, like this is not going to work for me. And to see my daughter look at me like, Mom, what is going on? Like, you're that stressed and you're allowing someone to stress you like this. And I was like, it's not worth it. And I didn't want her to think that was okay just because the money was coming in. That's never okay because I wasn't taking care of myself. And I quit. I said I can't do this anymore. And she and I came up, well, Mom, let's teach other women and girls what you've gone through so they won't have to go through that. And
Oh
that's
my
how the
goodness.
retreat came about.
Yes, we're going to talk about the retreat that you have coming up, the Big Easy Retreat. But I'm so struck on two things. Number one, that she had so much discernment and wisdom at such a
Yes.
young age, and
Yes.
that you had enough discernment and wisdom at an older age to listen to someone who's younger than you.
Yes. Yes. That's
Was
one
there ever
thing
a doubt that you would do that?
I never thought that. In my mind, it was climbing the ladder. And you get to that highest achievement no matter what. And I didn't realize I was sacrificing my health in doing so. And I knew something was wrong. I'm like, this shouldn't be a cost for me to achieve success, shouldn't be at the cost of my health. And so my daughter saw that. She saw that I was sick. She saw that I was breaking out in hives. And it was so bad to where I couldn't wash dishes because my hands were completely covered in blisters. So I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do her hair. And so she's physically watching me go through this. And I didn't have any explanation as to stress. And that didn't make any sense. And so if I couldn't convince my daughter, how can I convince myself that this was okay? So it was easy for me to walk away when I saw my health was failing because of that.
And saw an opportunity for the two of you to
Yes.
work together. So
Yes.
how has that work manifested itself? We're going to talk about the Big Easy Retreat. So what's the plan? How do you work with your clients now? How do you attract speaking engagements? What does it look like?
It is amazing. So when women heard about this wellness retreat and it was happening in New Orleans, especially during Essence Music Fest, that was their gateway to grab their girlfriends and come down. And I did it as a 1-day retreat because I wanted women to come down, get what they need from this retreat, but then experience the other activities that Essence has for everyone else while you're down there. But the retreat itself, it brings so much value because we have women who are all together in a safe space who are going through different things and they can share their journey that could help another woman. And so when I post on social media, when I say, hey, we're having a speaker call, the applications just roll in because they're interested. The tickets have no problem selling because women want to know, hey, there are other like-minded women who are also going through the same thing that I'm going through. What did you do? How can I overcome? And that's why I love it because it's a safe space for all of us to come together and share our experiences and find out what tools and techniques we can have and work out to overcome these.
When we think about COVID, and especially months and the couple of years after it, there was this so much talk about the Great Resignation, women
Yes.
pivoting, people saying enough is enough. I don't want to
Mhm.
do this anymore. If it can't look like a hybrid for my life, I'm not interested in your position. Now that we're almost 4 years, what
Yes.
is the landscape now? Because sometimes we talk a good game,
Right.
and then the reality
Right.
sets in. So what are
Right.
you seeing?
So right now, I think most women they are finding a balance, right? Because a lot of employers did not go back into the building, so they have the option to work virtual. And I think those women who decided to take on those positions as virtual, they're finding a balance that, hey, I can do this. I can still achieve and perform my work and my duties and also be home with my family. And I don't have to struggle trying to figure out what time I'm going to leave the office, what time I'm going to stop doing this and pick up dinner because I'm already home. And so I think COVID taught us a lot that we really don't have to be physically in this building or in this location in order for me to still do the work. So I think a lot of people, when employers started to open up and become more, let's say, agreeable to that, I think that gave us a lot of options to still be able to work out 9 to 5 and still be able to take care of home.
Well, you're a CEO. You are working this wonderful project and purpose with your daughter, but you're also an author. Tell us
Yes.
about that. What have you written, and why was it important to not only be a speaker and a retreat facilitator and put it together, but to also put power to the page as well?
Like I've said, I've been journaling since I was 16. And so writing has always been a part of me. And my first book that I have written is called Sisterhood. And it takes me through a journey of my life, and every female that I've met that is a friend or a sister or who have helped me in some sort of way. I talk about that in that book because I appreciate it. It's because of them that I'm who I am today. And so I wanted to share that because I'm that big sister girl. Like everyone comes to me, hey, Dr. Dickerson, tell me this. I know you're going to tell me the truth. I'm a sorority girl. So I'm that sister that everyone comes to and talks to. And I wanted to share that with other people. Another book that I wrote was Finding My Way, 21 Steps to Self-Discovery. What does that look like? How do I find my way? What's the first thing I need to do? For me, my spirituality is big. Right. I'm a big Christian. God is all over me. Everything that I do, I walk in faith. I trust God. I know that if He's given me this vision, He's going to provide. He's going to send me the destiny helpers that I need to fulfill everything that He's assigned me to do while I'm here. And so this is something that I share with everyone. This is really big. Trust it. If you have faith, everything is going to work out. And I truly believe that.
And when you said the word destiny helpers, that really kind of sent a little shockwave because number one, we tend not to ask for help.
Mm,
And we tend not to see their help as a
exactly.
fulfillment of our destiny. Speak
Yes.
to that a bit about how it's so important to have destiny helpers.
It's it's so important that you have to know who God has sent to you to help, right? Oftentimes we get so caught up and we thinking people who come, they're our friends. And oh, I was so hurt when this happened. But you have to understand that God sends people in your life for a season, and it's for a reason. And it could be that these people came to help you implement something and now they're gone. But these are our destiny helpers because these people are coming with the gift for you to help, for them to help you to use whatever it is your assignment is to be. And so I learned that because I couldn't do it all. And I'm like, I'm only one person. How can I implement this and how can it be done efficiently? And so people started showing up when I saw when I first came out with the retreat. Oh, I can help you do this. I know how to do this. And this is the people who would come into my life would tell me this. I didn't ask. They just showed up and told me what their gifts were. And God was like, use them for this. This is the person you need for that. And so when I tell you when it's God ordained,
Yeah.
it's going to happen and you won't have to force it. Because my destiny helpers, they all came to me and they're still with me today.
Oh, that is, well, that's
Yes.
amazing. Thank you for sharing that. We did not mention that the Big Easy Retreat, you have a theme this year. Talk about the theme.
Yes. So the theme this year is called The Power of Transformation. And I thought with everything that has been going on in the world, transformation is so important because you cannot feel bad about growth. We all have to grow at some point. If you're not growing, then what are you doing? You're dying. You can't sit still and you can't feel bad that you are outgrowing other people. And so I wanted this to be the theme to teach other ladies that it's okay to transform, embrace whatever you're becoming, because it's going to be greater than where you are now.
Wow. We don't fault the caterpillar, the caterpillar and the
No,
butterfly. That's
exactly.
beautiful.
That's right. It's going to become something beautiful. And that's what we have to embrace that. It's going to be something better and beautiful.
Well, this is wonderful. And shout out to your daughter. Please shout out her name so she'll know that she was mentioned.
Kaylee Dickerson.
Yes,
Yes.
Kaylee, Kaylee. So
Yes.
how can people follow you, even learn more about the retreat that's coming up at the Big Easy? It's going to be in July, but it's never too early to make plans to be there.
That's correct. I would advise anyone who wants to come, please purchase your ticket, hotel reservations early because we will sell out. The website is www.thebigeasyretreat.com. All of the information is on the website. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Dr. Tasha Dickerson.
Wonderful. Dr. Tasha Dickerson, thank you so much for being with us on the Powerhouse Woman Show.
Thank you so much for having me.